may not be new to you, but it's new to me. And by golly, I love it. I really do love it. And it's cheap. Some people may actually have got one of these in with their machine when they bought it, but I've never seen it. First time I saw it was an advert on Instagram, and when I saw it I thought, whoa, I've got to get one of those. And I got one, and I absolutely love it. And this is this little gadget. It's got a white piece on here, little white, it's all in plastic, white piece on here, a little arrow on that side, and if I turn it over there's an arrow on the other side. So basically what that's telling you is when you put it towards the needle, that's where the arrow is the way that you have to put it against your needle. Then on the other side, this has a little hole, and that has a flat side on one end and a curved side on the other. And the purpose of that is so that you can put your sewing needle into there for fitting onto your machine. So I'm going to show you a little video of how you fit the needle there, and then I'll show you a little video of how you thread your needle at this end. Basically, just to give you an idea, you have a little letter piece in the shape of a letter Y there. I'm hoping you can see that. And then you have the shape of a letter V. Ignore that hole there, but if you look at that, it's actually like a letter V there. And then here, on one side you have what looks like a little hook. Well, that is a hook, and that's the hook for pulling the thread through once you've got it through the needle. Basically, you're going to be passing your thread through the Y area, so it's going to go through the Y area, and then you're going to use your needle with the ridge facing forward, as we said, flat to the back, ridge forward, and you're going to basically you run this down, and then you go down there, and as you go down you're pushing it against the needle, and it goes through, and as it goes through it pushes the thread through your needle. You then can use the hook here to pull that little hook to pull it through, or you can use your awl, your pointed tool, and I generally tend to use my pointed tool, pull that through, and there's my needle threaded. So I'll show you how it's done in situ so you can get an idea of what the process is. So I've threaded this up, but I've got my needle to thread. There's no thread in the needle, and normally I would use this to thread it, but unfortunately for some reason it's not picking up the thread. So this little gadget has worked out a treat for me. Through the Y like that, in there, push it a little bit till the metal is scraping along the ridge of that needle, and then push it through there. And as you push through, it's pushing that thread through. Then gently, you may have to hold that thread to stop it from being pulled back out, or you can use, this is where your pointy awl comes in handy. If you feel that it's going to be pulling itself out, you keep a hold of that and pull it like that. And then once you've got that, you get your hook and you pull it right through. I'll do that again to show you. Right, thread is going into that little hook there. Right, then I put my thread through there and I get it against the needle. Now before I push the metal, I can feel it scratching against that little ridge, so I know I'm in the right place. And then I push it through till I get to the bottom, push the needle through. Can you see the loop? And in case it pulls the loop out, you can then get your needle and pull it a bit, or use your hook. I prefer to use this and pull it with my awl, and that's my thread pulled through. and I want to thread it into here. Now it's, you know, it's not easy to see, and it's fiddly. So what you do is you take the other end and you put your needle into the other end like that. Now it's flat to the back, so I put the flat to the back. See that flat bit is at the back, and then I bring it in there, and I can feed it up to there like that, and then tighten it, and then that slides down. If you want to be certain that it's right, I usually put it under my fingernail just to make certain that it's really right up, and then I use my little gadget tool, this little gadget tool, just to tighten the screw up a bit more, and that's tight. So that's how I thread I put the needle in. We're now going to thread this, this needle, thread it into the Y, feel for the ridge, into the Y, like that, feel for the ridge. You've got to be at right angles and you've got to feel for the ridge. If you're not feeling it, it's got to be kind of, you can feel a tension when you're pushing it down, and when it gets the needle it pushes through. No, that hasn't worked. Let's try it again. Sometimes it doesn't work, but once you get used to it, you'll do it first time. There, I've got it on the ridge, push it down through the ridge. There's my thread. I'm going to keep my finger on it to stop it from coming out. Hasn't gone very well. Into the Y, feel the ridge. There. Don't pull this thread here, because if you pull this thread it won't go through. So I push that right to the outside there. Can you see it? And what I do is it's my left hand I do it with, but I just keep a hold of it to stop it from pulling back. And then once I've got that, I pull it through with my awl like that, and that's that threaded. So let's try the serger now, because that's a harder one to do. So I'll bring my serger forward and you can watch what happens here. So let's start by taking a needle out so you know exactly where I am. So I'm going to take the left one out because it's easier, let's see. Right, so I'm going to take this left needle out, and then I'll use this my pliers just to take it out so you can see what's going on. Right, so I have my needle. Now where have I put my gadget? There it is, right under the camera. I have my needle there, and like before, let's put some light on it so you can see what's going on. Right, I have my needle there, flat to the back. So I push the needle in like that, and it goes flat to the back. Can you see that flat bit there? Flat. You'll see the reflection of the flat. So then I go into there and straight up. Then I go into there, locate the hole and push it up. How easy is that, ladies and gentlemen and YouTubers? I ought to call you YouTubers because that's who you are. I now tighten it with I'm now tightening it with my screwdriver. I pull that down like that gently. It comes down, and there you are. That took a matter of seconds. Let's do the other one, because we can. Right, I'm going to unscrew the right one because the right one's often the fiddly one. So let's unscrew the right one. Okay, I'm going to pull that out with my pliers. There we go. Not as easy to get out. There we go. I'll slacken off that screw a bit because I didn't have... Right. So I've now got this back one to do. Let's see if you can see this a bit better this way. So I now have this one to do. So here's my needle. Put it into the threader like that. Push it down through the hole. Like that. And don't forget flat to the back. The nice thing is it's even got a flat, don't know if you can see that, but it actually has here a flat back there and a curved front, so you're actually even putting it in the right way. Now then, it's going to go into there, and then I'm going to push it up there like that. Whoa, how good is that, ladies? Straight up, and then tighten that screw. I use my fingernail to keep it up there, but once you've got in position, then you can tighten that screw a bit more, like so. There you go, and then down that goes. The best way to do it is to swing it a little bit to one side and pull it out, and there are your two needles rechanged in your serger. Takes a matter of seconds. Now threading them. I'm going to start with the right one into that little hook, and I'm going to use this simply because it's easier, but I then put this through here and then feel for the ridge, put it at right angles, feel for the ridge, slide it down, and when you get to the bottom, push it through. And I don't know if you can you see that little loop there? A little loop there. You can use this to pull it out, pull it through, but because I wanted to go at the back, I'm going to pull it through with my awl like that. And look at that. And then you can either use your hemostats or you can use your finger to get it right through to the other side. Now let's do the other one, this one here. I'm going to pull that thread a bit because it's a little bit... Right, let's do this one. So then this way into the Y there, and then get close to where you're into the middle there. Slide it down till you get to the hole, push it through like that, and there's your loop. My loop is there. I don't know if you can just see, it's just there, just through the back there. Get a hold of that loop like that, pull it through, or if you wish to, use your hemostats. Those are your threads threaded. Now I'll do that again just to show that it wasn't a con trick for me doing it straight away. Okay, I'm going to take these two out again. 1, 2. Pull the other two to the back so they're out of the way. Right. And we'll start with the one to the right. So through this little hook here. Then get my needle threader with the Y. Get it basically so that the pin is going to run down the middle of the groove, and when it gets to the eye at the bottom, it should push through. It's done that. Get your hook, pull your loop through like that, and if you have some long hemostats, if you have some long hemostats, you can pick up that and push it right through there to the back, and they will go underneath there. Then the second one goes into there, into that little hook there, the little hook there, and then again I do the same thing into the Y, down there till I get to the hole, push it through. Can you see the loop? Then I get that through there. Help yourself, if it's any help, put your finger there so you can, and push it towards the awl, and then you can see what you're doing. So I've now pulled that through. Get your hemostats like that, put it under there, and use that to pull it back. How cool is that? You've changed your needle. I've threaded that 2 or 3 times. Once you've mastered the skill of this particular tool, once you've mastered the skill of that, you know, you won't fear your serger as much, because the 2 hardest bits for me and for a lot of us is this little area here, because as we all know, this gets in the way, this gets in the way, the foot goes down instead of up when we want it to. We've got to get it under that little piece of metal there, and so all of that, this is the awkward bit, the changing of the needle and the threading of the needle. And with this little gadget here, that has speeded it up completely. When you first get it, it comes with instructions. The instructions are partly in Chinese. I'll move everything out of the way. Let's move things out of the way a bit. When you first get them, you'll get instructions basically in Chinese. So if you know any Chinese, you can read it that way, but it shows you how the needle goes in, and it's telling you it's got a flat back and a curved edge, and but it's in English on the inside. It tells you how to thread the needle there. Needle threading, it goes through the whole lot, and then on the other side it tells you how to put your needle in, changing a needle. I can only imagine that the damage that you might do may be if you put your needle in the wrong way there. If you're foolish enough to put your needle in the wrong way, that might break off. Or if you can see the little wire in there. Can you see that little wire in there? Well, that's the wire that comes through here. So let me show you what it does. If I push it in like that, let me push it right in like that. There's the little wire that comes through to thread your needle. Let's do it this like that. That's the wire that comes through to thread your needle, and it's got a little hook. It's like a little bar, but it's kind of a U shape on it on the top. So the possibility is that you may break that, or if you don't do it properly, if you're not completely at right angles to the needle like that, or if you try to twist it, then there is a possibility you break this little barb. I've used mine several times. I think I've used it about 50 times. I'm always changing threads and things, and apart from you do miss sometimes. Sometimes it doesn't work, but I would say that 95% of the time it does, and I would not change this for anything else. I think it's absolutely fantastic. So this is the game changer for me, and I would like to think that it may be the game changer for you. I've got a link to it down below. It is an affiliation link. Basically that means that I put the link to Amazon and to eBay, and I actually get a few you don't pay the money. The eBay and Amazon pay me about a penny for anyone who clicks on it. It's not coming out of your money. It's kind of a little form of me getting an advertising fee for letting you know where it is, the link is. If you don't want to do that, that's fine. Go and look for it on eBay or look for it on Amazon. I can't remember what you called it, probably needle threader, and would imagine if you're a YouTuber sewer and you haven't got one of these, I really think you'd be foolish not to get one. It's not expensive, but it's damn good to use. There you go. So at that, I'm going to leave you and catch you next time. Bye.